Why do 90% of AI beginners fail to land a job in 2026? I mean, it's a staggering statistic, right? Think about it for a second. Millions of people are out there spending countless hours reading the latest articles and binge watching generic tutorials. But when they finally get to the hiring manager's desk, bam, they hit a massive brick wall. So, what's going on here? What is actually causing this huge failure rate among super enthusiastic beginners who are really trying to do everything right?
Well, the source material breaks this down into three absolutely crucial roadblocks that are just stopping beginners right in their tracks. First off, you might know the theory inside and out, but you have zero proof of skill. You might be able to beautifully explain what a large language model is, but if you can't show a hiring manager one you've actually built, your resume is probably going straight in the trash. Second roadblock, zero hands-on experience. Just knowing the concepts, it's just not enough anymore. Recruiters want to see your hands in the dirt. And the third issue is that the existing pathways to get that real experience are honestly pretty flawed. Traditional courses are often ridiculously expensive, where the quality is so low that they don't actually teach you the practical stuff you need to know. It basically leaves people with no viable options. So how do we actually break through that wall? Well, the entire philosophy of the Leapstone Launchpad pivots on one single number, and that number is 5. Over the course of the 8 weeks, you aren't just clicking through multiple choice quizzes or falling asleep to passive lectures. No way. You are building at least 5 functional AI applications that you can actually demo and showcase right on your resume. This is the exact solution to those 3 massive problems we just looked at. You are creating an undeniable portfolio because at the end of the day, building real functional apps is exactly what gets you hired. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference in approach here. Look, traditional boot camps usually act as these massive gatekeepers. They are incredibly expensive, and they almost always demand a really heavy, advanced coding background right out of the gate. But Leapstone flips that model completely on its head. Because they operate with a lean team, they pass those cost benefits directly to the student. It makes it highly affordable. And even better, they've designed it for true beginners. They use a really smart hybrid of code and no-code teaching methods, so they walk you through the simple fundamentals of Python without that overwhelming intimidation factor. It completely breaks down the traditional barriers of price and past programming experience. Okay, so now that we understand the why behind the course, let's look at the how. We're going to map out the entire 8-week chronological journey to becoming job ready. You can kind of think of this as a hero's journey. You start out with foundational knowledge, and then week by week, you build up this incredible arsenal of highly technical, highly sought-after skills that ultimately culminate in a professional portfolio. Let's break down exactly what happens in these modules and how they set you up for real-world success.
Here is the first half of your journey. Module 1 sets your foundations. You dive straight into Gen AI. You pick up those Python basics we mentioned, and you get introduced to LangChain. Specifically, they teach you 4 simple steps to connect to literally any large language model. Then, in Module 2, you don't just sit on that knowledge, you immediately apply it by building RAG applications. That stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, which is basically teaching an AI to read your own specific private documents and accurately answer questions about them. By Module 3, you're stepping up to work with AI agents. Now, what's really interesting about this flow is the immediate practical application. You're learning the API side of LLMs right from the jump, which is exactly what you need to understand from a job interview perspective. So, the crucial point is this. The skills you master in those first 3 modules aren't just academic fluff. They are the exact specific keywords recruiters are actively hunting for right now on entry-level resumes. LangChain, RAG applications, vector databases like Pinecone, which basically act as the long-term memory banks for your AI apps, AI agents. When a 2026 recruiter scans a resume, these are the buzzwords that actually get you a callback. And Leapstone ensures you aren't just vaguely familiar with these terms. You have actual functioning apps built for every single one of these topics to prove your absolute competence. All right, let's move to the second half of the course and see how all this builds. In Module 4, you take what you've created and you learn how to actively deploy these apps so they actually live and breathe out in the real world. Then, Module 5 introduces working with multimodal AI. This is huge, guys. It means you're moving way beyond just text to incorporate dynamic data like images and audio. Finally, Module 6 takes you deep into advanced AI concepts. It's just a remarkably clear, logical progression. You go from deploying basic, foundational apps all the way to mastering truly complex, cutting-edge features. But the curriculum doesn't just stop at deployment. Module 6 and the bonus materials are specifically designed to give you an unfair advantage in the job market. You get to dive into advanced concepts like fine-tuning, where you literally customize how the AI's brain works to make it an absolute expert in a specific task. You also get to explore top-tier integrated development environments like Cursor.
Plus, they provide dedicated tool exploration and, critically, guidance on how to actually crack AI roles and technical interviews. Because let's be real, it's not just about building the apps, it's about knowing how to confidently talk about them and explain your exact methodologies to a hiring manager. And it all leads up to this, the ultimate capstone project. This is the absolute climax of your 8-week journey. You synthesize absolutely everything you've learned, from connecting to an LLM to using LangChain, all the way to advanced fine-tuning, to create your own completely original applications. You put the whole shebang together. This right here is the crown jewel of your portfolio. It's exactly the thing you will confidently open up on your laptop during a job interview to prove without a doubt that you are a capable, creative, and independent builder ready for the real world. Now, if you are a focused learner, I know exactly what you might be thinking right now. Okay, this sounds like a massive, totally time-consuming curriculum. How on earth am I going to fit this into my busy life? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. 1 to 2 hours a week. That's literally it. The Leapstone Launchpad is specifically designed so that you can manage the course and your personal commitments parallelly. It's highly manageable. And, of course, if you have more time to dedicate to it, you can totally speedrun it and wrap up the entire course early without having to wait the full 8 weeks. When you finish, you walk away with what we can call the post-course arsenal. You receive a professional certificate to showcase right on your LinkedIn profile and your resume. You have that incredible, real-world portfolio of at least 5 functional apps. You have specific, actionable guidance on cracking those tough interviews. And really importantly, you get a full year of access to all the course materials. This means when you land that massive interview, maybe months down the line, you can jump right back in, brush up on the material, and walk into that room feeling completely prepared and confident. Which brings us to a final, really provocative question I want you to think about. When 2026 rolls around, will your resume show that you just used AI or that you actually built it? Because to truly differentiate yourself from your peers, you've got to go that extra step. The difference between using AI and building with AI is literally the difference between blending in and getting hired. You absolutely need that hands-on practical portfolio rather than just another generic certification. So challenge yourself. Stop just learning the theory and start building today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a crystal clear roadmap of exactly how to make that leap.